What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. This is the second take because there's so many things wrong. I don't know what happened. My recording muted. It stopped. It paused. It's just crazy. It's the computers. I got gremlins in my system. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I wanted to talk about Zaus Strelnick. Strelzelnick. Your boy, your CEO from Take-Two. And he's the man with the master plan. He's the man. And he was like, yo, check it. PC's the future. Boosh. And I went on a whole thing about ponies and donkey unicorns, how they're dummies. I mean, you know the spiel. But anyway, let's go through this real quick. It's not that much. GTA publisher Take-Two's CEO Strauss Zelnick predicts big shift in gaming industry. I think it's moving towards PC. That's what he says. All right, so he says Take-Two. I'm not going to read this because he says it down here. He says, well, actually, I will read this. Zelnick predicts a significant industry shift away from consoles towards PC and open platforms over the next decade. While traditional console gaming's core experience will persist, Zelnick highlights mobile's rapid growth and Take-Two's own expansion in that sector. This aligns with rivals like Xbox exploring PC-centric strategies. It aligns. I mean, Strauss Zelnick is seeing everything that Satya Nadella and Amy Hood, I guess. Well, she's the money lady. Phil Spencer, he's the gamer. Sarah Bond, Queen Sarah Bond, she's the strategist. I think she's, yeah. And Matt Booty, he's the muscle. Remember, he was over there at Midway slaying fools. Get over here. Anyway, Take-Two, blah, blah, zibadoo, ba, 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 dibba-da-doo, says, quote, I think it's moving towards PC and business is moving towards open rather than closed, end quote. While he acknowledges precision console, blah, 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 he expects PC gaming to gain momentum. The market currently sees an even split between console and mobile gaming, but Zelnick notes that mobile is growing at a faster rate than consoles. Yep. It's also important to note that Rockstar's highly anticipated AAA has already been delayed twice and now is expecting a launch in November. Whatever. Despite this shift, Zelnick insists that the core experience of traditional console gaming, which includes rich, engaging game played for many hours on a big screen, will remain. Quote, but if you define console as the property, not the system, then the notion of a very rich game that you engage in for many hours that you play on the big screen, that's never going away, end quote. So, this notion right here, that if you boo, the property, if you define console as the property, not the system, which when you think about it, it's like, how you going to define a game as the system? That don't make no sense. But when you think about it, it's a better way, as for the businesses, it's a better way to think about the business as a whole. Because if you think about Nintendo, right? You say, okay, Nintendo makes consoles, quote unquote, right? But why do their consoles sell? Because of the properties that they put on the consoles, aka Mario, right? So Mario is the property. Mario is the reason why they sell so many consoles. So as long as Mario exists within that ecosystem, and as long as they keep it in that walled garden, that forces people to buy that console, right? By, let's say, taking Mario and opening up the garden, just blast down the walls. Mario's everywhere now. Mario's on PC. Let's just say Mario goes to PC and Nintendo, right? But not on Xbox, not on PlayStation. That makes the property even bigger. And it doesn't rely on the console. And so will console numbers like shrink or whatever? I mean, they may be affected slightly, but the reason why people buy Switches is not because, oh, I can only play this. It's baby's first console. That's what the Switch is. Nintendo knows their lane. Like, the industry is made up of a few different sectors, let's just say, right? So you have, little babies who could barely walk and they could barely talk. They don't play games. They watch TV and they sing songs and then they clap and they run around and they do the little baby toddler stuff, right? They're not gamers yet. But you give them a couple of years, they get to be 5, 6, 7. Guess what they're doing? They're playing games. Where are they playing games? Usually on a tablet at first. A broken, screen cracked 59 times tablet. I'm surprised their little fingers aren't cut up, but, I guess they're made pretty good. Or your old phone, like, oh, yeah, I ran over this with the car. You can have it. There you go, Jimmy. Go play Roblox. So, if they don't get that, or they get that first, because like you ain't getting a Switch because you're gonna drop it and break it. So you get this raggedy phone first, and then maybe next year Santi Claus will bring you a Switch. And and then like little kids now, the grown-ups that are Nintendos, they're not gonna buy them a Switch 2. The little kids that are like, this is your first console, you're getting a regular okie dokie old ass Switch 1. That's what you're getting. And so those are still going to sell, let's be real. Even though the console sales are down 50% or whatever, they're still going to sell. And so that's Nintendo's lane. Nintendo's lane, their major market is baby's first console. I always make fun of John Jacobson on Video Games Outsider because he's such a Nintendo fan and stuff. And I was like, man, stop playing them baby games, blah, blah, blah. And I'm joking, but it's true because look at what they put out. Oh, yeah. Oh, Metroid is growing up. And so I'm like, okay, sure. They had Resident Evil 4 back in the day on, I was like, that was the GameCube, right? Sure. I mean, that was Capcom, but sure, they allowed it. So there's glimpses of like adult to satiate the Nintendolts that still are hardcore Nintendo fans. But the adults, the Nintendolts that are hardcore Nintendo fans are the original baby's first console generation. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother, myself, they're Gen Xers. Let's just be real. That's what they are. And they have kids and they got grandkids or whatever. And that's what's happening. But now something has changed, right? And so there are more players in that handheld game sector. Now, once again, the Nintendo Switch, by definition, by the adults, the Nintendolts that grew up with Nintendo, they see Nintendo as the first video game system that I give to my child. They're not going to say, oh, I'm going to give my kid a Steam Deck. No. The first, no. It's like, for the real video gamers, the Nintendolts and stuff, they're like, look, I'm not going to get my little Susie a Fisher Price okie doke, gaming console that plays all these bootleg China games or whatever. No, I'm gonna get her something that's gonna be nice. There's Mario. I grew up with it, so you gonna grow up with it too. Blah blah. You know how parents do. They're gonna indoctrinate you. This is how I grew up, and it was great, and you're gonna do it too, and you're gonna feel the greatness. And so that's what's happening. And so that's why the Switch has sold so many. Not because, it's the best console. No, it's baby's first console. That's the lane. That's the segment that Nintendo has sliced out of the video game industry pie. That's what they did. And they realized that. Why do you think why do you think they made a whole little land in Universal? Epic Universe. I went there. They got Super Nintendo World. There was a lot of children's there. I mean, a lot of adults there too. Nintendolts. It was the busiest part of the park. Kids. It's for kids. And they did that. And they said, yeah, sure. That's what we're doing. I think Sony's confused. Because Sony started in the industry as partnering with Nintendo. That deal went bad. Nintendo and Sony are mortal enemies. I would say partially it's Nintendo's fault as to why the PlayStation exists. We all know the story. We're not going to go over it again. But, Sony's like, we gonna do it, and then they did PlayStation 1, and that's a pretty good console. Ain't gonna lie. But they never kind of solidified a mascot, because they lost their mascot, because Xbox owns the one thing that would be considered their mascot, which is Crash Bandicoot. Yeah. I mean, they lost that a long time ago, but they don't have an identity as far as that goes. Their identity is tied to Kratos, God of War. Go back to the first and second God of War and third one and see how non-kiddie that game is. It's so violent. There's boobies in it. It's my kind of game. I ain't gonna lie, but not for kids. The opposite of for kids is what God of War is, and that's the closest thing that Sony has to a mascot is Kratos. Think about that. You got Mario, you got Peach, you got freaking Daisy, Luigi, you got all these adorable characters. Even Donkey Kong's adorable now. All these characters over there in Nintendo Land, and you got Kratos, who murders all the gods. You have Nathan Drake, who murders all the people and supernatural things. You have Ellie, who murders more than the other two because she's immune. I don't know. It's all about murder over there on PlayStation. Even their racing game was a combat murder simulator. Come on, son. Look, I ain't got nothing against murder simulators, because GTA 6 is about to come out, and you know what that is. I'm not saying it's a murder simulator. It's an everything simulator, but I'm just saying there's murder. Or you can be murderous. Anyway, the point is, I don't think Sony has truly found their identity. And when they started to find one, and we felt that they did find one, it's the wrong identity, because business-wise, it's not good. And that is the, not sad dad, but the cinematic type of games, those movie games where it's all cinematic and they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars, or I would say at least half the budget on the cinematic portion, the performance portion of the game outside of the actual game itself. And so I'm like, your boy Sean Layden, he saw it. He knew it. He knew the numbers. He said, yeah, we can't keep doing this. It's unsustainable. We can't do this. Why? How can we do this? We can't do this. And he was right. And they kicked him out. It was like, no, you ain't right. Get out. And they kicked him out through the window. Right? And then Jim Ryan was like, all right, mates, we're going to go here and we are going to make this the best cinematic sad dad walking simulator box in all of Europe. That's a bad Jim Ryan. He's more of a soft-spoken Brit. I'm not sure exactly where he's from. Anyway, so yeah, Sony doesn't have a solid identity like Nintendo. Like Nintendo knows what they are, and they pushing in that for real. They open up theme parks and they know what's up, right? Sony's like, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this. Fail. They can't even do a decent games of service game themselves. They had to hire out somebody else and say, we'll pay for it. And they were like, okay, this is the sequel though. It's like, we're good. It's gonna be third person. It's not top view. Just do it. Like, all right. And they did it, and boom, it's good. But I haven't seen Sony make a first party banger that is a games of service. I mean, you could count the show, or you could count GT7, but I'm like, those are kind of like grandfathered in, so I don't want to say that they're failures, but they don't have that zeitgeist that these games, it's not like in the top 5 or top 10 every month. That's the metric. Anyway. And so we go to Xbox and we say, okay, well, what's Xbox got? Xbox was, from its early days, thanks to Halo, recognized as the shooter box. The dude bro shooter box. You go straight from the gym and you sit down in front of your CRT with your bros and you do a LAN party and you just plug up all the Xboxes, you play Halo. Or you play Call of Duty 2. Now it's on 360. But yeah, it's shooter box. And it still has that in there. It's still in there, as part of the DNA. But it has expanded a little bit. I think it's more of a racer box too. A racer box, because the racing games are better on Xbox than PlayStation. I mean, the first party. That's what I'm saying. Because where's Drive Club? Y'all remember Drive Club? I hope you do, because that was a PlayStation first party game that it was, and it's not existing anymore. And is that studio? I think they closed the studio. Yep, sure did. So yeah, no, it's Meanwhile, Forza Horizon 6 is coming out next year. Come on, son. So Xbox has an identity. That's why there are more players, like hardcore players on Xbox. That's why when you look at the numbers, you say, oh, PlayStation has, quote unquote, sold 80-something million, when they haven't really. That's just produced, manufactured. And then Xbox only sold 42 million, but the player numbers are almost identical. Like, wait, how you have half the consoles, but the same amount of players with just half the console? How does that work? And so it's like, well, because we play games. Y'all are playing Fortnite. Y'all are playing not games. I mean, it's a game. Look, Fortnite's a game. I'm just saying. Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft, GTA 5. They don't count when you get new games and nobody's playing them. I'm just saying. But anyway, I wanted to look at the mini PCs. Here we go. Sorry about that. I was looking at thinking about the Steam machine and how a bunch of Donkey Unicorns and Ponies were like, it's a console. It's not it's a PC. Like what's his name? Reforge said something stupid. He said, it's a PC, but it acts like a console. I'm like, it's a PC. They said it's a PC. It's a PC. What are you talking about? It's like, oh, it comes with a controller. It's simple. It's easy to use. Like, I appreciate how Steam in their marketing, but Xbox marketing is so confusing. And I'm like, first of all, you're confusing it. Second of all, I don't want to call you stupid, but you're stupid because they literally said it's a PC. You said it's a PC. And then you say, but it acts like a console. It's not a console at all. You know what? Let's look at it. Sorry, I'm typing real slow. I can't even type. Steam machine. See, they put Steam. What is? Wow, I'm a dummy. That's funny. Sorry, I'm typing with one hand. PC. Let's see if it's gonna pop up. No, that's the original. Anyway, it's probably not gonna. I think it was on Twitter, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Valve says it's a PC. It's a PC. That's it, and that's all. I mean, there's no argument, right? It's a PC. See, latest bid for PC console hybrid. Stop it. See, that's the media. I blame the media for putting that Steam said it's a PC, yet and still these idiots, media and everybody else, oh, it's a console. It's a console. See, Steam Machine, Valve challenges Xbox and PlayStation. No, they don't. It's a PC. It's a small factor PC. Slim PC, right? Just like now, when I'm talking into the microphone and nothing's coming out. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I've rambled long enough, and I've messed up long enough. And that's it. So I'm going to have to go into my settings and see why it keeps doing that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about your boy Strauss Zelnick saying, yo, Satya was right. Phil was right. Sarah was right. Queen Sarah was right. Not white. She's not white. She was right. Mad Booty is a vicious bulldog. Pitbull. Yeah. So, and he's not an Xbox dude. He's just Take-Two's ruler. Making that money next year. So, but anyway, I appreciate. I'll talk to you on the next one. Till wait.